you may or may not be aware that they've actually said that the reason why there's not more stop and search is because of the amount of paperwork that they have to do. They're concerned about the extra work that is involved in stop and search. They have to give the person that they stopped a reason as to why they stopped them, and lots of information. And the police have complained, and they're now looking at reducing that paperwork massively. We have to remember why that paperwork was introduced in the first place. The Scarman report actually dictated that people were being stopped randomly without any information, and the paperwork was introduced to make it more accountable. So you can imagine if they take away this paperwork, where's the accountability? How are they going to monitor who they're stopping? Now, again, as we've just heard, in terms of stop and search, how many people actually come out with something, worth the stop and search? 1 in 8? Is that 1 in 8 across the board? 1 in 8 in every stop and search that they do? The information is not there and it's not available. I work for the probation service and I get a lot of this information because I'm part of the criminal justice system. And, it's very evident that BME members of the community are stopped more, produce less in terms of the result of a stop and search. And so therefore, the statistics do not back up the reasons for stop and search. And I do take on board that people are frightened. It's a case of we've got to be seen to be doing something. But if that seen to be doing something means that you're going to victimise a certain community, then is that seen to be doing the right thing, or seen to be doing something that generally is has a consensus of the community, all the community? Now, I think a lot of the times, because people stay quiet, it's seen as we're all happy with what the police are doing. Yes? Yes. It's gone quiet. My point, you know what I mean? What we also have to look at is the criminalisation of certain groups of the community. These people are being stopped, and there's resentment. And sometimes, as Peter said, it's a rude stop. I have been party to people being stopped, and the police really, it's like antagonising the person that they're stopping in order to get them to react a certain way so they can pick up and say, you're not cooperating, and whatever. Next thing you know, they're being carted off in a van because they're resisting. All this adds to that individual, that young person usually, falling into the criminal justice system in some way. And we have, within the probation service, a lot of people that haven't actually done anything that you or I wouldn't have done. It's because they've been put in an environment where they've retaliated. They see the news, they hear what's in the media in terms of what's going on, and they think, oh no, here I am now, a victim. But they're not treated like a victim. So we also need to look at things like that in terms of the breeding resentment as to why some people may actually go out and try and think of ways to retaliate, getting up their little posse or whatever. I actually live in Tower Hamlets, and I know that standing on any corner, especially up by Mile End Station, right, is going to land you in trouble. You will hear the sirens coming for you, yeah? And if you walk off, that's even more trouble. But you cannot congregate and talk. There's no encouragement to be social to people in Tower Hamlets. And so therefore what you have is the streets are mainly empty. And then when you do see people around, which of course you're going to, because people are going about their daily business, they are easy to see. And they are victimised. We also see a situation at the moment, and I'm sure some of you have seen the news recently, about, I think it's 5 young men that were charged with in regards to their thoughts around of terrorism. Not what they've actually done, what they're thinking. Now, let's face it, if a lot of us were charged on our thoughts, how many of us will be walking the streets? We all have negative thoughts sometimes, whether it be, terrorism related, or, oh, I could kill that person, you know what I mean? But we all have that. And again, this is another way of victimizing people because of where they come from. Yeah? And we do need to take these things serious. I know we're laughing at the moment, but for those individuals that were arrested, and I think they were in custody for about 5 months, that was no laughing matter for them. Do you know what I mean? So you can imagine them coming out, and most of them will come out on some sort of surveillance now, in terms of what else they're going to do. This is, you know, it's not a funny thing. It's very serious. And we look at areas of concentrated areas that the police are centering on, and why they're centering on those areas. Eton was a classic example. But again, if you're in Tower Hamlets, you will know there is very little resources available to young people. And I can only speak for Tower Hamlets because I live there, but I'm sure there's other areas, Newham, Hackney, those kind of areas where there's not a lot of money, and therefore there's not a lot of resources. Young people, I was young as well, you know, we like to congregate and have our little chat with our friends, whether it be in the street, in the park or whatever, and we weren't causing any problems to anybody. But now, they don't have to be causing a problem, they just need to be congregating, and that is a concern for people. Yeah? And this expansion of increasing the days that you can hold somebody without a charge, yeah, takes away from the books that I work with in terms of the probation service. You are innocent until proven guilty. Yeah? As I said previously, it seems people are picked up, they're put in a cell, and then somebody goes and looks for some dirt on them. Yeah? And they can keep them for 46 days at the moment, and they want to increase that to 90 days, yeah, to go and look for some dirt on somebody. Is that fair? And can you imagine what would happen if that happened to you? Just going about on your daily business, you picked up, 90 days you're in a cell, and, you know, we all have daily lives, work, family, how disruptive that would be. Do you expect that person to come out thinking, oh yeah, I've just done my bit for society? No. So I think we need to be a bit more proactive in terms of challenging these decisions that are being made, because I think sometimes we stay quiet and silent because we believe that someone out there is going to see the sense and say, actually, no, we can't do that. But I think history has shown us that unless we, and I don't want to use the word rebel, but unless we let people know who are making these decisions that they are not the right decisions, and we do need to explore it more and get the right decisions, then realistically, we're not going to be living in a free society. Okay, thank you.